Okay, we're going to do reading. We're going to read Thunder Cake, and as we read Thunder Cake, we are going to fill out page 131. So you will need your reading book, and you will need your practice book to fill out page 131. Now we're doing this as we read it because on practice book 131, it's telling us where we're going to find this information. So as we read it, we will fill it out. So your reading book should be turned to page 225. This is the author and illustrator is Patricia Polacco. And I think you'll enjoy this book. It is about a young girl who fears thunderstorms but realizes she's a lot stronger and braver than she thought. Okay, so turn the page. Grandma looked at the horizon, drew a deep breath, and said, "This is Thunder Cake bacon weather, all right. Looks like a storm coming to me." So let's look at page 131, and it says, Grandma decides to bake a what? We just read it. Good, Thunder Cake. Thunder Cake. Okay, let's continue to read. "Child, you come out from under that bed. It's only thunder you're hearing," my grandma said. The air was hot, heavy, and damp. A loud clap of thunder shook the house, rattled the windows, and made me grab her close. "Steady, child," she cooed. "Unless you let go of me, we won't be able to make a thunder cake today." "Thunder cake?" I stammered as I hugged her even closer. "Don't pay attention to that old thunder, except to see how close the storm is getting. When you see the lightning, start counting real slow. When you hear the thunder, stop counting. That number is how many miles away the storm is. Understand?" she asked. "We need to know how far away the storm is so we have time to make the cake and get it into the oven before the storm comes, or it won't be real thunder cake." So let's look at page 131 again. It says, she teaches her grandchild to start counting when she sees what? Good, lightning. And stop when she, good, hears thunder. Okay. Her eyes surveyed the black clouds away off in the distance, and then she strode into the kitchen. Her worn hands pulled a thick book from the shelf above the wood stove. "Let's find that recipe, child," she crowed as she lovingly fingered the grease-stained pages to a creased spot. "Here it is, Thunder Cake." She carefully penned the ingredients on a piece of notepaper. "Now let's gather all the things we'll need," she exclaimed as she scurried toward the back door. We were by the barn door when a huge bolt of lightning flashed. I started counting like Grandma told me to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what are Grandma and her grandchild going to do? Good, make a thunder cake. Why does the girl begin to count after the lightning flashes? Good, that tells you how long before the storm arrives. And we used to do that when I was a kid too. When we saw the lightning, we'd count, and that was how many miles away the storm was. So how many miles away is the storm now? 10 miles. Good, we counted to 10, so 10 miles. Then the thunder roared. 10 miles, it's 10 miles away, Grandma said as she looked at the sky. "About an hour away, I'd say. You'll have to hurry, child. Gather them eggs careful like," she said. "Eggs from mean old Nellie Peckhen. I was scared. I knew she would try to peck me. I'm here. She won't hurt you. Just get them eggs, Grandma said softly. The lightning flashed again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I counted. So let's look at page 131 again. Now we're in the middle pages, 234 to 243. On the farm. It says, Grandma and grandchild collect fresh what? What is she collecting? Good. Eggs. From mean old Nellie Peckhen. Good. Nellie Peckhen. Doesn't sound like a very nice hen, right? Nellie Peckhen. You got peck in the name, that means she's going to get pecked. Not very good. Okay, turn the page. 9 miles, Grandma reminded me. Milk was next. Milk came from old Kit Cow. As Grandma milked her, Kit Cow turned and looked mean right at me. I was scared. She looked so big. Zip went the lightning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I counted. Boom went the thunder. 8 miles, child, Grandma croaked. Now we have to get chocolate and sugar and flour from the dry shed. So now we're getting fresh what? Milk. Good. Page 131 again. Milk from mean old Kit Cow. Good. Kick Cow. I'm thinking mean old Kick Cow will kick you if you stand behind her. Most cows do. Not very smart to stand behind a cow or a horse. I was scared as we walked down the path from the farmhouse through tangleweed woods to the dry shed. Suddenly the lightning slit the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I counted. Boom, ba-boom, crashed the thunder. It scared me a lot, but I kept walking with Grandma. So what have Grandma and her grandchild been doing? Good, they're gathering the ingredients for thunder cake. What will they get from the dry shed? Chocolate, sugar, and flour. Good. How many miles away is the storm as the two walk through Tangleweed Woods? Good, 7 miles. How do you know? Because you counted to 7. Okay. So, let's turn the page. Another jagged edge of lightning flashed as I crept into the dry shed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I counted. Crackle, crackle, boom, kaboom, the thunder bellowed. It was dark and I was scared. I'm here, child, Grandma said softly from the doorway. Hurry now, we haven't got much time. We've got to get everything but the secret ingredient. So she got a sack of what? Good, a sack of flour. From where? The dark and scary dry shed. Okay, got a couple more ingredients for the middle pages here. Oh, look at this. 3 overripe tomatoes and some strawberries, Grandma whispered as she squinted at the list. I climbed up high on the trellis. The ground looked a long way down. I was scared. I'm here, child, she said. Her voice was steady and soft. You won't fall. I reached 3 luscious tomatoes while she picked strawberries. Lightning again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I counted. Kabang, boom-a-room, the thunder growled. Okay, so she picked 3 what? Tomatoes. Never had tomatoes in a cake. High up on the what? Trellis. Good. The white thing she's climbing is a trellis, and that's what you use when you've got plants that are vines that climb up. Okay, let's turn the page. Sorry. Tomatoes, trellis. We hurried back to the house and the warm kitchen, and we measured the ingredients. I poured them into the mixing bowl while Grandma mixed. I churned butter for the frosting and melted chocolate. Finally, we poured the batter into the cake pans and put them into the oven together. Lightning lit the kitchen. I only counted to 3, and the thunder rumbled and crashed. 3 miles away, Grandma said, and the cake is in the oven. We made it. We'll have real thunder cake. Okay, so back in the warm kitchen, Grandma and her grandchild, what did they do together? They mixed the ingredients. Good. And then what is the picture? Let's look at the pictures on 245, okay? So they're mixing the ingredients, and what is she doing here? Churning butter. Good. That's how they make butter. Now I'm sure they have big vats for that, but that's how you make butter on a farm. That stick, you pound the milk fat and keep pounding it and pounding it and pounding it until it gets solid. And then what are they doing here? Good, putting it in the oven. Okay, let's finish the story. As we waited for the cake, Grandma looked out the window for a long time. Why aren't you afraid of thunder? Why you aren't afraid of thunder? You're too brave, she asked as she looked at me. I'm not brave, Grandma. I was under my bed, remember? I said. But you got out from under it, she answered. And you got eggs from mean old Nellie Peckhan. And you got milk from old Kit Cow. And you went through Tangleweed Woods to the dry shed. You climbed the trellis in the barnyard. From where I sit, only a brave person could have done all them things. I thought and thought as the storm rumbled closer. She was right. I was brave. Brave people can't be afraid of a sound, child, she said as we spread out the tablecloth and set the table. When we were done, we hurried into the kitchen to take the cake out of the oven. After the cake had cooled, we frosted it. Just then the lightning flashed. This time it lit the whole sky. Even before the last flash had faded, the thunder rolled, boomed, crashed, and baroomed just above us. The storm was here. Perfect, Grandma cooed. Just perfect. She beamed as she added the last strawberry to the glistening chocolate frosting on top of our thunder cake. As rain poured down on our roof, Grandma cut a wedge for each of us. She poured us steaming cups of tea from the samovar. When the thunder roared above us so hard it shook the windows and rattled the dishes in the cupboards, we just smiled and ate our thunder cake. From that time on, I never feared the voice of thunder again. And then you have the ingredients for Grandma's thunder cake. So this is a true story that this girl did go with her grandmother, and this is her grandmother's thunder cake. So I like that story. I think it's a neat story. And we'll see in a little bit for some math.